Hi guys, it's Laura from Laura in Bookland, and it is time for my October wrap-up and November TBR. And you may notice that I am in a little bit of a different location, and the lighting looks in the camera to be much better, and that is because we changed rooms and sort of created a little office area, and I got some new bookshelves, and I am excited, and I will probably do like a little room tour or something soon. Let me know in the comments if you would like that. But anyway, to get on with it, I read 5 books this month and 3 novellas, so not too bad. I'm okay with it. The first book I read this month is The Realm of Possibility by David Levithan. This book is written in verse, and or song or whatever it happens to be the person's dialect. It follows around 20 different people from one school, and they all have to do sort of with each other, and they're about love, and it was a pretty interesting book. Very quick reads, very short, and because it's written in verse, you just fly through it. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I picked up was Why We Broke Up by Danielle Handler or Lemony Snicket. They are one and the same. This book is very heavy, but it follows around a girl named Min, and she tells her story about her ex-boyfriend now, Ed, and why they broke up. It's got illustrations throughout it. Usually at the beginning of every chapter there will be an illustration. What she does is she has this box filled with things from their relationship, and she is going through and she is pulling out these items, and this whole book is a letter to Ed about each one of these items and the story that went along with it, and pretty much why they are breaking up. It was okay. It took me a while to get through, like longer than I think it should have, because the writing is rather large. But, I mean, other than that, it was an okay book. And I had extremely hard time reading this book because it is so heavy and it was uncomfortable to hold. But I believe I also gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I picked up was Girl of Nightmares by Kinder Blake. This is the second book in the, I guess it's a duology, for Anna Dressed in Blood. I really enjoyed Anna Dressed in Blood. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, I believe. This I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. I didn't find it quite as good as the first book. It wasn't nearly as scary or creepy as the first one, although the scenes that Anna was actually in were very good. I really enjoyed those, but I don't know, I don't think it was as good as the original book. But you still follow around Cass, and you get to see Carmel and Thomas. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and like I said, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Next book I picked up was Enclave by Anna Guire. This is a dystopian novel. It is post-apocalyptic. It follows around a girl named Deuce, and it was her dream to become a huntress in this underground world that they live in, and they have to flee from these zombie-like humans or creatures that feed on, you know, the flesh, and they have to protect their enclave from this. And then she ends up having to go topside, is what they call it, and it goes from there. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Last physical book that I picked up was Mask of the Red Death by Bethany Griffin. This follows a girl named Araby, and she is pretty much living in, you know, what is the end of times. They are all required to wear these masks because of this plague that is going around that kills people. The Red Death part actually does not come in to the story until the very end of the book. But it's about her just, you know, trying to survive this, and trying to survive her best friend's uncle, who is the prince, and he is very mean. And then there's a new guy coming around that's trying to take over, who is called Reverend Malcontent. and he is trying to destroy things so that he can take over, and it is just one thing after another, and I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to read the second one, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. The next 3 books that I read were novellas. The first book I read was Endurance by Anna Guire. This is number 1.5 of the Razorland trilogy, so it comes after Enclave. It was really good. It was followed around Deuce's 2 friends and what happens to them after she has to go topside. And what they have to go through, and it was pretty interesting to see what had happened after she had left. But yeah, I gave that I think I gave that a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Razorland's Point 5, which was the prequel, and it was called Foundation, and it pretty much just set up and told you what happened to get people to move into the Enclave and what started everything. And I actually, since I read this after Enclave, I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than what I would have if I had just read it right off the bat. But I did give this a 3 out of 5 stars. And then the last book I read was Glitter and Doom by Bethany Griffin, and this is number 1.5 in the Mask of the Red Death. I think it's just a duology. This followed around Araby's best friend April, and then it also followed around Will and Elliot's friend Kent. They're some main characters in the first one, and kind of showed what happened to them during a certain section of the book. I won't give it away, so there's no spoilers, but I enjoyed this book, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. So that is all I read for the month of October. I am currently reading Something Strange and Deadly by Susan Dennard. I am almost done with it. I could probably finish it today if I want. This is another zombie book. It is not post-apocalyptic or anything. It is actually taking place during the late 1800s, so it is like a historical fiction, which I usually don't read, but I'm actually enjoying this book. And it's got necromancers in it, and it is pretty interesting. It's not great, but I am enjoying it. So that is what I am currently reading. Now on to my November TBR. As soon as I finish reading Something Strange and Deadly, I plan on picking up this book. And that is Outpost by Anna Guire. This is the second book in the Razorland trilogy. I was really enjoying the ones that I read, the novellas in the first one. So I would like to continue that, and I actually just bought this, so I cannot wait to get on with this series. I am also on the blog tour for this book, so I need to read it. And that is Second Verse by Jennifer Walkup. It is about a girl who moves into a new farmhouse, which is supposedly haunted, and they do this fake murder investigation, I guess, throughout the town every year, and she has to figure out why, she holds this seance, and she has to figure out why this girl is like trying to haunt her now, and what really happened to this girl, and if it was really some sort of fake murder that wasn't really fake or something like that. I don't know, but it sounds interesting, and it is not that long of a book. I also plan on picking up Mila 2.0 by Deborah Driza. This book has been on my wish list forever, and I finally got it, and then it has been sitting on my shelf ever since, and I think it's because it's sort of a long book. I think it's almost 500 pages. Yeah, it's like 470 pages. And those are usually intimidating to me. But the book sounds really, really good. I don't even remember what it's really about. But I know it's got like computer science and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, so I plan on picking up this book. And then after Outpost, I am definitely picking up this book. And it's The Girl Who Soared Over Fairyland and Cut the Moon in Two by Katherine mvalente. This is the third and final book in the Fairyland trilogy. I loved the first two, which were these two, the girl who circumnavigated fairyland in a ship of her own making, and the girl who fell beneath fairyland and led the rebels there. I actually absolutely love this series. It is very Alice in Wonderland-esque, which, you know, is like one of my favorite books. So yes, I cannot wait to finish this. I'm going to be sad that it is over because I have read the novellas that go with it and everything. But I really, really enjoy the series and cannot wait to get to this book. But that is all for my October wrap-up and November TBR. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these or what you read this month, what you plan to read. And I will see you guys later.